Hello, and welcome to another vlog. A bit belated, but I've been rather involved in this project. It kind of reaches a point where I just want to finish a long project and everything else gets pushed to the wayside, including the vlogs. And I know it's been, 3 months? Good God. Yes, too long anyway. I'm going to finish this video and then hopefully things will become more frequent. Now it's a balmy summer's night and I fancy one of these. It's a Schöfferhofer grapefruit wheat beer mix. It is in fact a shandy. It's 2.5%. Not a very strong one, but it is a work night. And I've been on these. These are good. I like them. You'll notice it's orange, which is obviously probably the grapefruit contingent. But yeah, perfect thing for summer. Nice, refreshing, and I don't feel too bad in the morning. Not like if it's 12% or something like that. It's, yeah, okay, it's quite gassy. It's wheat beer, you know, you're supposed to gas it off a little bit. So yes, vlog time. My wife just messaged me. I'm going to take some questions from the Discord as per usual. I don't see any reason to deviate from that. It works, it's fun. Fun enough. And honestly, apart from that, I'd just be rambling. So, still too much head on that. So I'm going to ping people now. Some people, they've jumped the gun a little bit because I pre-announced the vlog. Questions for the vlog, please, exclamation mark. Hold up by using everyone, yes. Yes, I don't do it often, but yeah, that's the ping for the vlog. And, oh boy. Yes, there we go. Perfect pour. Perfect pour. Alright. The Chris D says, what took you so long? I lose track of time because I don't know. I never really remember how long it's been since the last vlog. And I think, well, it's been about a month, maybe 6 weeks. That's fine. And then it gets to 2 months. And then you think, oh, well, we've broken 2 months. And like I say, I find it difficult because the only time I can record vlogs is the evening, and my evenings I tend to be one of two things, and that is asleep or too tired to do anything. Because, well, that's just how it is. The boy goes to bed at 7, which means everything has to happen after 7. I normally, you know, de-stress, have a bite to eat. It's 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then I've got to do the prep. By then it's 9 o'clock. In fact, right now 10 o'clock because I had some other stuff to do tonight, as is always the case. So it's late, and it means I get to stay up late, and it's just difficult to find the time when I've got the energy in the evenings to do it. So it's easy to postpone. I'd love to do it during the day, but during the day I've got to drive, and alcohol, not really a good mix. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. It's secondary to the main video. The main video takes priority over everything. And, yeah, the vlog can sort of slip a bit. I'll try not to, you know. Alright, here we go. Vanessa says, if you were stuck in a video game and only had one desert island, which would you bring? I'll skip that one. Crazy Al says, when's the next vlog? In about a month. Maybe 5 weeks. Shrunk says, what you drinking, man? Told you. Schöfferhofer grapefruit. Brilliant stuff. Like it. Firefly's Red said, how's life? It's fine. It's fine. With parenting, you sort of find a cadence. And, you know, I get my 40 hours of work in during the day, and then, you know, the weekend, you look after the child, go to nursery during the week, come back from nursery, put him to bed in the evenings, veg out, can't do anything, just do the obligations, the jobs I've got to do. And just, yeah, that's it. That's kind of, you find a flow, and it kind of works, but yeah, it can be tiring, because you never really get a break from it. But it's fine. It's fine. Hader Reno says, ranch or Cool Ranch? Here's a fun fact for you. Cool Ranch is called Cool American in some countries. Yeah, there you go. I don't know which I prefer. Cool Ranch, why not? It's cool. Tactical Tame says, what would you drink if you were on a festival? Do you know what? Schöfferhof? I'm not sponsored by these guys, but it's good. And you could drink it all day in the summer without too much harm. Otherwise, I don't know. I just drink whatever's going. That's what you do at a festival. You know, someone brings a crate of beer or whatever, and then you drink it. Chris, trademark, says, how's the weather been treating you? It's been hot. It has been hot. It got up to about 32 degrees at its hottest, which in the United Kingdom, that's on the warm side. Definitely. So, it has been hot, but I actually have a small portable air conditioner for my office. It would be necessary because it's a south-facing office, it's 3 external walls, and it just gets baked like an oven in the sun. So with computers in there, it's a relatively small room, it gets super hot. I needed something to moderate the temperature, so I bought a little tiny air conditioner. I closed the door, small room, run it a little bit, makes it nice and cold. It's good. I have been coping pretty well in that little den of cold. It's been nice, it's been worth the investment. I do worry about the running costs, but when it's that hot, yeah, I'll take it. Crystal says, what's your favourite letter of the alphabet? S. A Skytech CEO says, ahoy, how do you feel about the Indonesian action film series by the title The Raid? I'm not familiar with it, so that's my feeling. Vanessa says, regarding barrels, is the barrel video basically locked in by now, or is it still on the whiteboard? I'm planning a video on explosive barrels. It's basically explosive barrels origins, and it is pretty much guaranteed. I'm going to finish first video game, and then it's just going to be short videos from then on out, until the end of the year at the very least. And exploding barrels, I think I can do it in 10 minutes. I think that's a short video. Yeah, and it's pretty much locked in. I'm going to do first video game, I'm going to do an Iconic Arms, it's going to be the Glock, and then the whole family of Glocks. I'll get the Glock 18 in there as well, just as an aside. But yeah, and if it's a Glock and it's in a game, it'll be included. Well, maybe not, there's a lot of them. Yeah, after that, Explosive Barrels. After that, not actually 100% sure. Explosive Barrels is the last one that I've queued up, but it'll be something short. Aret Link says, what is the first video game? Well, to really appreciate the effort that went into finding this out, you have to sort of watch the whole thing. But if you want the quick answer, it is Christopher Strachey's implementation of drafts. Summer 52 is the first verifiable video game. That is to say, a game that principally uses a video display for its output. There are earlier computer games, there are earlier things that use things that could be described as video displays, but under our definition, yeah, Christopher Strachey's drafts, 1952. That is the answer, but that's almost not important. It's not so much about the question, it's about the, I don't know, the getting to the answer, that's really the thing. Ahoy, how do you sort your Discord servers? I've only got 4 actually. And I put the most important one at the top, which is mine. And then, yeah, the rest just fall underneath. Drunk Cat says, would you play Monster Hunter World and or Final Fantasy 14 with me, and why not? I might play Minecraft with people, I'm into that. I'm considering setting up a server or a realm or something for Minecraft. Just, I don't know, I'm into it. My son has got me into it. He loves Minecraft. We spend a lot of time building in Minecraft, and yeah, he loves it. He absolutely loves it. But will I play Monster Hunter World and or Final Fantasy 14 with it? Probably not, to be honest. But then I don't really plan on playing those at any point soon. I should play Monster Hunter at some point. No idea when. Aniki says, most nostalgic video game soundtrack. I suppose this is a personal choice. Most nostalgic. I mean, the quantity of nostalgia and the magnitude of nostalgia is quite difficult to really quantify. I don't know what the most nostalgic. I mean, what are you asking? You're asking for my favourite soundtrack from an older game. So I've got to do some sort of weighting by age. I don't know. I mean, if I'm thinking 8-bit systems, there's a couple of pieces of music that come to mind. The Spectrum theme for Lead Storm, fantastic. Also on the Spectrum, these are both 128K games. They use the AY chip. Zub as who does that? Is it? I can't remember who does the music for that, but it's someone famous. Galway, maybe. Not sure. Anyway, yeah, they're both good. They're both good 8-bits. Amiga. Favourite music, probably Hired Guns, possibly Uridium 2, maybe Stardust, Super Stardust. That was done by Bloodhouse, who merged with fellow Finnish developer Terramark to become Housemarque. Bloodhouse, Terramark, Housemarque. That's it, yeah. And they do stuff like Super Stardust on PSN and Resogun and all that sort of good stuff. Nex Machina, that was their most recent game. Unfortunately, they've stopped making arcade games. They've moved on to something else. But yeah, that's some of my favourite older game soundtracks. Really can't read blue on grey. PC Norden says, what do you think of the Grand Tour? I like it. Not quite as good as peak Top Gear, but it's fine. Best gig you've ever seen? Actually, a support act. This is Taxman Felix, by the way. The best gig I've ever seen, probably the favourite one, is when Moloko was supporting Garbage. Big fan of Moloko, and I didn't know about them. This is how I discovered them. It's always nice when you discover a band through a live performance. And yeah, they were great. I loved them. The link says, will you consider doing a Retro Hoy for the Command & Conquer franchise? I might do something with Command & Conquer. I might do Dune 2 instead, though, if that's alright. It's an earlier Westwood game. But I don't know. I have some thoughts on Retro Hoy. First thought is it's a long format. I'm thinking, could I do like Retro Hoy but short? And the answer is, well, yeah, but you can't do the complete history of a game, otherwise you'll just have to be really superficial. If you want to get it into 10 minutes, you're going to have to focus on something smaller than the entire history of Command & Conquer. So you need to pick a facet of Command & Conquer and focus on that. What facet I would do, I don't know. But yeah, I might do some smaller Retro Hoy facets, just like little takes on things. Hi Min says, what are you currently listening to music-wise? I don't know, actually. Nothing in particular, just old favourites. I'm on Spotify now, and sometimes I'll listen to myself, which strikes me as a little bit like masturbation, but, well, it feels good, so, So I listen to myself sometimes. I like the Flatline soundtrack. That's one of my favourite bits of, my own music, which, again, sounds a bit self-congratulatory, but I do like to listen to it sometimes. So I listen to that. Otherwise, it's just my usual fare. Stuff like Metric, Ladytron, I don't know. Sort of light electronic to techno. A mix of stuff, really. Joy Lane XO says, weapon guide for Roblox Phantom Forces. Unlikely. iDesolate says, what do you believe caused Minecraft's resurgency? A combination of two things. Probably the updates that have come out over the last few years, and a recession in the Battle Royale genre. I think Fortnite actually killed off a lot. There used to be, more diverse. You used to have DayZ, the other ones. PUBG. DayZ, PUBG, and H1Z1. A few of them at least. And Minecraft, Minecraft, modded Minecraft was kind of in that sort of similar segment. But with Fortnite taking a lot of it, I suppose there's Apex as well. But I don't know, I think it's just a recession in the Battle Royale stuff. I think that fad might be on the downward slope now. And Minecraft is just, by comparison, it's just been lifted up. Right, Crazy Owl says, do you think an arena FPS game can be successful in 2019? Why or why not? Yes, although I don't think copying Quake or Quake 3 Arena is the recipe for that. I think it does have to be different. I think it has to evolve the genre. And it might do it in a displeasing or, I don't know, an annoying way for fans of the existing genre. Yeah, the evolution might be painful, but, you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could argue that a lot of their DNA does exist in modern FPS games, so they haven't really died out, they've just changed. It's a question of how much they've changed. Ifriti says, what board games do you enjoy / often play? Board games? I don't really play many board games. I will, you know, family get-togethers, well, sometimes at least. Tends to be card games more. Cards Against Humanity, that's the staple that comes out every once in a while, and I quite like Magic as well, although I wouldn't say I often played it. Zerxul says, most interesting real weapon never featured in a video game or not popular in video games. It's a tough one, because the interesting ones generally do get featured. So I guess my best bet for an answer there is something new. I'm going to go Chiappa Rhino, although I bet that is in something at least. Drunk Cat says, how do you feel about a fecal tier local meme becoming a magnum opus video? He's talking about first video game. The video stems from an argument on Discord about what the first video game was. And, well, it rather sparked my interest. I mean, it's something, you know, I've thought about before. But, yeah. The fact that there's no definitive answer to the question, that was what always irked me. As I thought it was worth investigation. It wasn't quite as mysterious as Polybius, but I think it's probably, you know, just as critical, just as investigatorial. Is that a word? Could be. I think it does tick a lot of the same boxes as the Polybius video, but obviously it's its own thing, it's different. Chris Aruda says, do you like / follow any kind of sport? I quite like motorsports, although I'm not really a slavish follower of any of them. You know, if I see Formula E on the television, I'll watch it, yeah. Favourite comedians? Oh, that's a tough one, actually. I like Stuart Lee, although he's hit and miss. You know, I like him enough to forgive him for the misses. Let's see. Other favourite comedians. What's his face? I don't know. I quite like Sean Locke. He's alright. He goes off a bit absurd sometimes, but I think he's pretty good on the panel shows that I watch sometimes. I watch 8 out of 10 Cats sometimes, just, it's entertaining. I don't mean that as a compliment, I just mean it's entertainment, it's fine. I'll stick it on and watch it, you know. Chris TM says, what did you think about the show Chernobyl? I haven't seen it, actually. I might watch it at some point. I just finished watching Stranger Things Season 3. Yeah, it's fine. I'll give it another couple of seasons and then drop it. Sir Ghosty22 says, favourite game? Favourite game right now? Minecraft. Everybody loves Minecraft. Responsible Anarchist says, revisiting the Titanfall franchise anytime soon. Not likely, no. I mean, it's been a while since a Titanfall game has come out. Maybe if Titanfall 3 comes out, although I'm not sure what I'd do. Real Traplord says, how do you feel about VR in games? Gimmick or potential future? Yes. Favourite game that isn't Civilization? Minecraft. Ahoy, give us your thoughts on the show The Boys on Amazon Prime. I haven't watched it. I mean, how much free time do you think I have? I can't watch everything. Praetorian, favourite cereal? I don't like cereal. I think cereal is a conspiracy by the breakfast cereal manufacturing companies to sell breakfast cereal. It is, I don't know, I don't think it needs to exist, to be honest with you. I'm a toast man. Fireflies Red. What was your least favourite video to make? This one. No. Yeah. I mean, right now, yeah. I mean, I always get a bit burnt out on long videos. I think I'm on the downslope now. I can see the end in sight, but in the middle of them, it just drags, you know. And some of the slides that I do for the graphics on this, they take like a couple of hours each, and there are hundreds of them. So when you do like 7 slides in one day, and you think, is that it? Is that it? This is all of them. This is about 400 transparencies that I've done for this video. Because it's all done on transparency, it's all very analog. So, you know, that's the Union Jack. That was an easy one to do, that was easy. But others are less easy. I'll pick one up random. Well, here, for instance, is just a random. This is a diagram of a video signal. This is the NTSC video signal. You've got the back ports, you've got the front ports, you've got the luminance, you've got the chrominance. Fine. It is based on another illustration of this, but it is an original illustration for the video. It is a sort of a retooling of a diagram of how the NTSC signal is structured. This required me to redraw that in Illustrator. It required me to understand the elements of it. It's, you know, that is probably about an hour's work, and there are 400 sheets right there. You can see why this video takes a long time. Pick another one at random. Alright, rest of these. I mean, a lot of it is just scans of stuff. But there's obviously a lot of research involved. They're all in spooky negative as well. Here's one. Backing sheet. William Higginbotham. A photo thereof, which has of course been cropped, resized, composed, and it takes time. It all takes time, and like I said, there is quite literally 400 acetates there. There's a lot of acetates. That's about £50 worth of plastic. And there's more. I've got a pile of 50 left to record, and I've got about 10, 15 more to produce. And that's it. That's literally it. I've finished all the graphics. I've finished all the script, all the writing's done. The only thing that remains is sound. I need to put together a soundtrack. I've got some beats, I've got some ideas laid down, but yeah, it's coming. We're getting there. So you've got this huge pile of 1,000 hours, and you get 40 hours a week to work. It takes time, and you've just got to chip away at it. So yeah, right now, my least favourite video, of course. But I don't know. Overall, difficult to say. It's hard to quantify. But I suppose in terms of resentment for having to do it, probably the weapon guides. Whenever you do a long series and you're doing the same thing over and over again, you get sick of it. Justin, Pepsi or Coke? Coke, probably. Sir Ghosty22, you a weeb? No. Drunk Cat, any fatherhood tips? No, I've learned nothing. I don't know, just... Like I say, the trick is just find a flow and sleep in the bits in between. Okay. Ryu Azuku says, what are your thoughts on today's world of video games with every single game having microtransactions and most having loot boxes? Is it right? Ethical? BS. It's all your fault. I don't mean you. I mean the collective you. It's all your fault. It's done because it's profitable, and if that's just how it is. That's how the mainstream's going to be. It's going to be whatever makes the most money, and it's fine. You know what you're buying if you're buying a loot box, you idiot. If you don't like it, don't do it. Collectively, I mean. But unfortunately, collectively, people aren't. People do buy these things, and that's why we are where we are. Is it ethical? Yes, fine. As long as you know what you're getting. I mean, there is the argument, when children are involved, but then there's the question, why do children have credit cards? I don't know. I think, certainly should purchases be 18 plus? They should be made with parental consent, I think. And I think parents should be informed. So I think there could be more clarity on games with loot boxes. I think, I wouldn't oppose, for instance, the odds of rare drops, stuff like that, being known, and But yeah, if that's how video games are going to make their money, then I guess that's it. But hopefully, there's room for games that don't, for the traditional play model, or even even subscription models are better than that. Let's be honest. So Ghosty22, pineapple on pizza. Not for me, but if you like it, go ahead. Ludo says, still playing Forza? How about a video about a brand or a car? I played a little bit of the Lego expansion for Forza Horizon 4. It's alright, yeah. I'll probably play more again in the future. It's a pretty brainless game, to be honest. It's a game that requires skill, but not much in the way of cerebral thought. Brum brum drive car. Yeah. How about a video about a brand or a car? I'd love to do a video about driving games. I think there are some that I'd like to cover, but I don't know about doing like a car guide. I don't think that really would work. Iconic cars. I don't think that would work either. Because, I don't know. Why video games? That's the question. I have to sort of stick to the video game wheelhouse, and I've got to ask myself, if I'm going to do a video, why center it on video games? Why not do a video about a real car and obtain a car? Obviously, now you could pose the same question about Iconic Arms, but that one is a proven format that works. And furthermore, Iconic Arms isn't necessarily about firearms. It is about the depiction of firearms, which is actually a different topic. And video games are depictions of firearms. I also talk about films, television, etc. where relevant. Video games are the focus. Maybe I should focus on media in general. That would be slightly better. But like I say, my channel's centered on video games, and I have to sort of keep it like that to make any sort of sense. But a car video, I don't think that would fly so well, because cars don't fly. Anyway. Sir Ghosty22, most expensive thing you've ever stolen? I've never stolen anything in my life. Shrunk, best way to dispose of a body? Get someone else to do it. Aret Link, any major plans with the channel in 5 years' time? I don't know. It's a long time, 5 years. I'm reasonably happy with the course. I mean, over the last 5 years, I've gone from a Call of Duty channel to my channel, to where I can basically put whatever I like on there. So it's given me the chance to sort of create stuff that I just, it's risky and it might not fly on a Call of Duty channel, but yeah, I've somehow made it work. I think it's the right course. I think I'm going to carry on doing that. The only real major thing that I would like to change is I don't like doing the long videos. I know, people love the long videos, but the absence is just antithetical to what YouTube wants. And I like videos, that have a long shelf life, that stay relevant for a long time. People are still watching Polybius, and that's great. But I do need to sort of think about having a better cadence to my output, and that's something I want to think about. I'm always on the lookout for shorter videos, and I think one of the watchwords that I'll be looking at in the future is anthologize. That is to say, For instance, I want to do a history of computer music. And I'm not going to do a monolithic video, because it's going to be several hours long and it's going to take me years. So, anthologize. Take a fragment and do that. Could you do a short video, say 10-15 minutes, on the Commodore 64 SID? I could probably do a whole hour on the SID. Well, alright, take a fragment of the SID. Could you do, you know, I maybe need to actually research the subject before deciding what fragments to do. But, yeah, just break up the subjects in whatever way you need to get them down to 10-15 minutes so you can get a video out a month. Or a video, you know, or 6 weeks at the most. Because about the 2-month mark, people start thinking you're dead. Now, I've tried splitting videos into parts, like Nuclear Fruit, that was 5 parts, Brief History of Graphics, that was 5 parts. But I always thought they worked better as a single video. And that's true, they do, but they were designed always to, you know, when there were multi-part videos, they were designed to be part of a whole. But I think if I anthologize, I can make a standalone product that stands on its own with an interesting subject. It doesn't necessarily have to be prosaic, you know, section 1, section 2, section 3. It can be different takes on the subject, and we can craft a narrative that is entirely self-contained, but one that can form part of a larger narrative when taken as a playlist, for instance. So if I did, you know, over the next 5 years, if I did, you know, maybe 10 to 15 different topics within the scope of music, you could arrange them chronologically and have something which resembled a brief history of music. Except it wouldn't be brief, it would be a couple of hours worth of viewing, and it would constitute that grand project, except it wouldn't require a lengthy absence. So anthologize. If you're thinking about a project, Stu, that's going to be a couple of hours long, or an hour long, or half an hour long, maybe think about splitting it into discrete subjects that still work on their own. That's what I want to do. The Survivor, what made you want to try to use the IRL slides for the first video game video? Because I thought it would be cool. You know, it's so easy to do clean and, you know, digital graphics, and the true sort of analog grunge is very difficult to attain. At least in a convincing way. Like, for Polybius I used VHS, and I used an actual VHS tape and an actual VCR, and I did it properly. And for this one, I wanted something that felt very mid-century, very sort of 50s and 60s, and sort of pre-video technology. So it's relevant to the sort of tone of the video, because it ties into the age that we're talking about. But it does have that cool analog aesthetic. There are flaws, and they're genuine flaws. And people are going to say, well, how did you get that OHP effect? And I'll say, well, it wasn't an effect, it was an OHP. It's the best way to do it. If you want to capture the quality of something, capture the quality of something. It's the simplest way to do it. It's not the cheapest way of doing it, but luckily, I already had an OHP. It's been taking up space. It's actually rusted. It's lived in my shed for the last 5 years. Except now it lives in my garage. So, yeah. It still works, it's fine. iDesolate says, do you believe that there is a good way to make more people on the server active? 2 Qs, I think I'm good. As far as Discord server activeness, probably the best thing to do, upload videos. Again, get the regular content, or semi-regular, one a month, golden. But yeah, then the big ones, the trouble is, the big ones perform well. Polybius is my golden video. 3.2 million views, possibly more by now, I've not checked in a week. And it's been a nice earner, honestly. The ad revenue's been consistently good. If I had 10 Polybiuses, I may never need to work again, at least for the next 5-10 years. That's how good Polybius is. Polybius is a great video, and I'd like to emulate its success. But it's a big one, isn't it? It's a big one. And I'm thinking, well, alright, but Polybius took 5 months. Is there a way, could we do something that maybe had the pull of a fifth of Polybius, but it takes a month? Maybe, I don't know. This is what I'm going to experiment with. I want to sort of seek out shorter formats. So one of the things I might try, instead of doing a Retrohoy, I might, like I say, I might do a Facet or something like that. One game I'd like to cover, for instance, UFO Enemy Unknown, also known as XCOM, the original 1994 one. So I'd love to do the complete history of it. I'd love to sort of start with strategy games, where it came from, stuff like Laser Squad, the Gollop Twins and all that. And maybe I could. But I don't know, I think I'd maybe need to pick something that was specific to the game. Like, one thing that the game did really well, and maybe something that ties in. Like with UFO Enemy Unknown, one of my favourite things about that game is the way that it doesn't tell you what to expect. I mean, sometimes your enemy is quite literally unknown the first time you play through. So, obviously your first mission, you've got no idea what to expect. The sectoids, little greys. Alright, shoot them, they die. Simple. But then at some point the game throws you curveball after curveball after curveball. That's all it is. It's just a series of curveballs, and it's brilliant. I absolutely love it. Like the first time you see a floater and you think, oh, it floats. These little aliens can fly. And it's brilliant. Absolutely wonderful. I think it really adds to the gameplay, and I think that really sort of defines a lot of the appeal of UFO to me. Like the sectorpods in, not the sectorpods, these cyber discs. They're all hugely surprising. Like, I will never forget the moment that a chrysalid attacked one of mine and turned it into another chrysalid. It's like, good God, I'm buggered. And it's one of those things that sticks with you. It's fantastic, and yeah, just sort of, you could just, yeah, that is one facet you could talk about with UFO Enemy Unknown. How the unknown is part of its gameplay. Just what it does. And I mean, is that a broad topic? No, you could do it in 5-10 minutes, but that's perfect. And I think, yeah, you could still craft a narrative there. You could have in fact, what I would do is I'd probably try and mirror my point with the narrative. So maybe I'd sort of conceal my true narrative and reveal it as a surprise. I don't know how I'd do it. I don't know. I'd think about it. But yeah, if you can sort of mirror the meaning with the execution of something. I'm not suggesting that I would, drop an absolute bombshell halfway through a video and go on a completely different tangent. No, but I think there are some surprises you could sort of lay on the player. Or the viewer, I should say. Alright. Who inspires you? Says Mojo Mike. Oh, tough question. Who inspires me? I'm trying to think. Who inspires me? In terms of YouTube, who inspires me? Who do I see on YouTube that... it's a difficult question. I'm trying to think. Who would I have in my dream team? I think that's a better way of posing it. Like, one of my inspirations, Matt, who does Matt Chats. I think his interviews with game devs are spectacular. And I see that and I think, well, I don't have that in my videos. I think that sort of first-hand evidence, the direct interviews with devs for retro games is absolutely spectacular, and I think that could be really interesting. I'd like to do that. I'd like to get sort of more into that front. It's not really my strength. I don't have the connections. I don't necessarily have the equipment to do interviews, but yeah, I'd say he's an inspiration. Now, it's obviously I do things differently. We're different, but yeah, he's definitely got something which I don't, and that in itself is inspirational, I find. I'm always surprised when I see something that I think, oh, I couldn't do that. Because, well, I can do most stuff, But certainly when it's an individual, I mean, alright, yeah, fine. When it's a multi-million budget TV program or something like that, I think, alright, fair enough, I couldn't do that. But I could if I had the budget. But when it's an individual and they're doing something truly good, I think, okay, that's cool. I wish I could do that. And yeah, there's a few people. I can't think who they are. But yeah. Who else inspires me? Oh, I don't know. In terms of music, generally people that I like, they tend to inspire me. It's a complicated mix. But the stuff that I listen to has an influence. I don't know. It's late. I can't. Oh gosh, I need preparation for these questions. Anyway, Chris Aruda says, "Do you think every video game should have an easy mode?" I think it's up to the video game. If a video game wants to only have a hard mode, then fine. If a video game wants to be literally impossible, then fine. It doesn't mean you have to like it. Doesn't mean you have to play it. Doesn't mean you can't cheat. I think that's fine. Obviously, cheats, I think, there should be single player. I do have a slightly different feeling about cheats in multiplayer. I think that starts to affect other people's enjoyment of the game, and I don't think that's necessarily fair. But in single player, oh yeah, go wild. But no, I don't think every video game should have an easy mode. I think an easy mode can be a good thing. I think even, let me play the game for you mode is fine. Maybe disable achievements, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, there's no reason really to exclude players based on skill. And I know some people would probably disagree with that, but certainly for a story-based game, let players tune the difficulty. Let them. Why not? Hi Min says, how do we fix the state of the planet and the people that run it? Just see what happens. If there's a nuclear apocalypse and we all die, great. Problem solved. The survivors, whatever, who cares? Drunkcast says, do you think we should have a channel dedicated to the vlog, even though this is only 2.5%, I should point out. I'm not drunk. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a tiny bit. Do you think we should have a channel dedicated to the vlog, even though it would only be used once every season? I think the general channel's fine. It was quiet. Real Traplord says, thoughts on Doom 2016 versus old Doom. The new Doom, it did have something cool about it that sort of had that... It had something cool about it that kind of evoked the same coolness that Doom had. And I think that sort of evocation is not something you can do by simply copying an old game. I do think there was sort of a genuine spark of something genuinely very good there. That said, for me, Doom 2016 was an 8 out of 10. It was not perfect. A lot of people think it is, or near perfect. I had some gripes with it. Like, least of all, the fact that you could fall to your death. What the heck is up with that? You could never fall to your death in Doom. If you fell in a pit, alright, you might take some damage, you might, there might be a hurt floor, but you could invariably run and you'd often find a secret, that's how it worked. On this, there was a level where you had to cross a bridge. That was... No, this isn't Doom. You shouldn't fall to your death. That's not how the level should be designed. It's rubbish. And it was similar in Hell. You could fall to your death in Hell. You have to restart. And the checkpoints. Anyway. Shard says, what's your opinion on the toilet paper dilemma? Under versus over methods. I let it fall how it falls. I really don't pay much attention. Fritz says, are you as excited about Doom Eternal as I am? Probably not. Although I am quite excited about it. So, I'm quite excited about Modern Warfare as well, actually. Weeaboo says, maybe late to the party, but would you recommend buying an Amiga just to have? If you can acquire one at prices lower than eBay's, yeah, go for it. Maybe try emulation first, though. Emulation's probably the cheaper, more painless way to get into the Amiga. That's my beer gone. Or my shandy, I should say. The Survivor. Opinions about the GTA 5 casino update that caused some more critics for the gambling issue. I mean, look, if you're going to play a game in which you gamble currency that costs real money and in return get nothing of value, then, you know, that's your own choice. Any plans for the next Retro Ahoy episode? We've talked about that. There are a few games that I'd like to talk about. Personal favourites of mine. Let's see, what is the FPS games? I mean, I don't want to be too FPS centric, but Duke 3D, I would like to talk about. Halo, maybe. Apart from that, UFO, Enemy Unknown, Civilization, you know, my personal favourites. Big fan of A-Train as well. Nobody ever talks about A-Train. I used to love that game. Still do. Ahoy, if you were to have any company sponsor you, who would you pick and why? Oh, I don't know. Any company. Any company. I don't know. I don't really want to be sponsored. The last thing I want is, you know, to... here's a message from our sponsors. It's not really my style, but I mean, if I was forced to, someone with deep pockets. Tesla, maybe. They've got some cachet. Secondly, do you think it would be possible to ever see history on the current state of video game streaming? Maybe. Again, anthologise. Maybe an aspect, maybe a small aspect. I don't know, maybe you could talk about the birth of Twitch, or maybe a critical event that happened on Twitch, or, you know, something like that. Or just maybe, you know, the effect, an analysis of the effect that, well, that sounds a bit broad-reaching, could be long. I don't know. Anyway. Is Steam overall good for gaming, or does the lack of actually owning the games hurt PC in the long run? I don't know, it's difficult to say. It's difficult to say, but oh, I've lost my place. Oh no. But yeah, I do think Steam has generally been a good force. I mean, it sort of has been the guiding light for digital distribution. And, you know, I do have worries about Valve expending their goodwill that they've earned, because they haven't been doing so well recently. A lot of, you know, I don't know, what are they even doing? They're taking revenue from Steam and that's it. I don't know. What else are they doing? Anyway. The Discordians have entered into a discussion whether you own your Steam games. And the answer is kind of. Kind of. I mean, technically it's a license. I think... yeah, that might be the end of the questions. I think, well, I finished my beer, and I think we're at length anyway, I don't know. What is the length? It's just the length of a beer. Or a shandy in this case. Go easy on me, I'm up at 7 AM tomorrow. And believe it or not, with my lack of tolerance, it does make a difference. Even one beer at 4% will it'll make me significantly more tired in the morning. Like I say, I don't drink that much. I haven't been drinking that much. I've been drinking a few of these. I have maybe one of these, maybe a couple of these a month. Maybe a bit more, I don't know. But in the interest of getting a good night's sleep, I generally avoid alcohol. But anyway, I shall bid you farewell. I shall wrap this one up. Thank you very much for watching. I shall... let's see, plans as far as this content is concerned, the vlog, and also I'm thinking about bringing the bonus back, but don't hold me to that. Modern Warfare is coming out soon-ish, and I like the look of it. It reminds me of Call of Duty's glory days, and I'm a sucker for that, honestly I am. I might play it a little bit, I might record some, I might do a bonus for it, just like old times. As I do get asked for bonuses a lot, and I do feel like I maybe need to have a schedule for them. One a month. It's easy enough to do. I've even got a microphone set up right behind the camera, it's right there. I did that with the express intent of rebooting bonus. I need to think about it. I might change up the format a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, bonus may return. And the vlogs, yeah, we'll try and get those roughly monthly. Let's say this counts end of July. Well, you probably will be the start of August by the time you see this. But yeah, we'll call this one the July vlog. I'll get you one at the end of August. I do need to sort of be a little bit more rigorous and sort of what I need is a whiteboard. That's what I need. I do have one. There is one. It's actually behind that screen there, the big one. That's too big for my current office, I'm afraid to say. I'm going to get a smaller one for my office, and then on that board I can sort of write stuff on it that I've got to do, and then I might actually remember to do the vlogs. This could be something that I'm onto here. That could work. But anyway, yeah, I shall get some sleep now, because it is about, what time is it? It is 11:30. That is not a good bedtime for a 7 AM rise. Certainly, as it will take me a little bit of time to get ready and wind down. So I shall bid you farewell. I shall try and get 8 hours of sleep, which won't happen, but 7 hours, good enough, right? Thank you very much for watching. Till next time, farewell. Oh, and hopefully, the next month or so, we'll see a new video. There's a little way to go yet, there always is, but the visual portion on the cusp of being done. I reckon I'll finish the remaining slides tomorrow. I'll film them possibly tomorrow night. I'll edit them and sequence them and make sure everything's hunky-dory. Possibly tomorrow, possibly Friday morning. It's Wednesday today. But by Friday morning I should have a visually complete video. The only thing that then remains is the audio, which is to say soundtrack. Unfortunately that does mean I've got to write about an hour of music. But it's going to be quite ambient. I think I'm going to go for a lot of ambient stuff. I don't think I necessarily want it to be sort of in-your-face music. I want sound and feelings and sensations blended with tonal stuff. Anyway, I reckon about 2 weeks of the music. But we'll see. You know, you never can predict these things. I mean, how long should it take to write an hour of music? I've got some ideas anyway. I'm going to start doing those. I want it to be quite, what's the word? I've completely forgotten words. The word that means from the scene. From the scene, but Greek. No, I don't know. I've completely forgotten. I know the word, but I've forgotten. It's too late. But I want it to be, you know, I want the sounds to feel like they're coming from the actual things that we're talking about. So the OHP, there's, you know, the ripple of acetate, stuff like that. So I might try and find a way of, I don't know. There might be some music in there. But otherwise, just, you know, the click of switches, the hum of the fan, atonal elements like that. I would quite like to blend with more tonal elements. Electronic sounds, sort of early electronic sounds. So I'll be looking for raw pulse width sounds and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, maybe you know, where available, I'll look for samples of authentic sounds from the time as well. So if if there is any sound associated with a particular game, for instance, the Ferranti Mark I, this computer, it had a hooter, they called it. It was basically a loudspeaker, and it was pulse modulated. I would say pulse width modulated, but it was a single width pulse. It was the width of an instruction cycle, and they could modulate the timing of those pulses to simulate tones. There are recordings of it, so maybe I could emulate that sound, maybe find a sample of it, I don't know. But yeah, I've got a few ideas for music. I do want to I want to keep it sort of, yeah, electronic, but mid-20th century electronic, so really early stuff. I have a theremin. I'm going to attempt to incorporate some theremin music, which may mean I might need to learn how to play the theremin. Maybe not very well. We'll see how that goes anyway. I just need to get something that sounds loosely like music. Because that's the thing, when you've got a video to get out, music to produce for it, it does give you a stick up the rear in order to get something done. Now, I find it difficult to produce music without a purpose, and videos do give it that purpose. Anyway, I really will bid you farewell now. I should get some sleep. Thank you very much for watching. See you in a bit.